Hey YouTube, I'm going to make a quick video on how to fix a floor jack, hydraulic floor jack. As you can see, I have several, and depending on your vehicle and the modifications you may be doing to vehicles, you sometimes need more than one jack, or it just makes life a lot easier. So the issue I've had is I've got a few of these smaller, I think they're 2-ton jacks, is that one's a Husky and one is a Motormaster, and that one's a Costco one. And is that as you can see, this one actually works. It's not leaking. But if you look at this one here, you will see that it will not even jack up. And so you can see right there that it's leaking oil. So I'm going to rip this apart, and I'm going to see if there's a seal in there or something that can be replaced. Hopefully you can see these cotter pins holding in these two pins. What we need to do is pull the cotter pins out, remove these pins, and this should come off to give us access to this bolt and or nut. And inside there probably is an O-ring of some sort. One, two. Now that we have the two pins removed, this should pop off like that. And what we're left with is this. Well, this is a 3/4 inch nut. And she's tight. Very tight. This nut is extremely tight. I wasn't able to easily get it off with the wrench, so I'm going to put a socket on here, and we'll try it like this. It was so tight it took a little bit of some leverage to undo it. We'll put a rag under there because I know it's going to leak. I'm hoping you can see that. Inside of there's a little slot with an O-ring. And I'm assuming that is leaking. I actually was hoping that the O-ring was going to be on here, but it's not. So I've used, let it focus, I used a old dental pick to pull it out. And there she is. So we will see if we have a O-ring of that size kicking around in there somewhere, or we may have to run down to the hardware store or somewhere and try and find one. Here is my junk collection of O-rings and all sorts of stuff. Here is the old O-ring, and here is one I found in there. So I don't know the size. If I was you, and you probably don't have access to a junk pile like me, I would just take that down to your local hardware store or whatever, and I actually would buy a kit. Sometimes between $5-10 you can get a kit with like 200 of various sizes. I'd probably do that just in case one day you need another one. But so anyways, that is what I got, and that's what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back in there just so it helps me put this back into the collar that's in there for this. I don't want to push it too far in and have it fall out and fight it. So that's just going to be to stop it from going all the way in. I'm not going to lie, it took a little while to, and a few swear words, to get the O-ring seated in there nicely. So I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but they're in there, they're nicely lined up, and it should hopefully fix the problem. This is how you top up your jack. There's this little rubber plug. You use one flat screwdriver to pop it off. It's hard to get back in, so I'm warning you. And then I topped it up as mine was definitely leaking. You'll have to research what you want to use for fluid. They say any kind of hydraulic fluid should work. I researched my jack and I used ATF fluid. I didn't want to go buy a $7 bottle of jack fluid. I have tons of partial bottles of this and that left over, so I used that. And as you saw, it worked. And then the other thing, to bleed it, I don't know if all jacks are the same, but you turn the release nut, and then you keep pumping it, and that should bleed any air out of the system right there. And I didn't do that initially, or videotape it initially, but that's how I bled out the air from my system. And the jack actually works flawlessly now. Looks like it's new. So whether you find a jack at a garage sale that's not working, it's a very simple fix. Hope someone can find this useful. Okay, let's see if those O-rings helped. This is the jack that wouldn't even go up all the way, and definitely wouldn't lift anything, and was leaking. As you can see, it is now holding. The vehicle's off the ground. It would not do that before. And hopefully you can see there where I had put new O-rings inside here that it's not leaking, and the vehicle's off the ground. It's not lowering on itself, but there you go. Quick fix on a floor jack. I also topped up my floor jack with some fluid. You can use jack fluid. My research showed that certain ATFs do the same thing, and that's what I did for my floor jack. You'll have to read your floor jack instructions and see what they recommend, but ATF did work for me. Okay, 20 minutes later, and you can see that the jack is still holding. Vehicle's still off the ground, and there's no leaks. So that fix did work, and I hope that someone else can use this quick video just to fix a floor jack rather than throw it out.